Hola, ¿qué tal? Sean bienvenidos amigos de Logic a esta primera sesión de la tarde del primer día de este Legal AI Summit. Hoy me encuentro con Tom Martin, quien va a hablarnos acerca de los 5 niveles de de la inteligencia artificial hasta la AGI o la AGI. Y les quiero hacer saber que a partir de este momento vamos a cambiar nuestro idioma a inglés. Esta sesión es totalmente en inglés. Tom Martin es un abogado americano, es muy trascendente dentro del ecosistema legal y de IA legal en Estados Unidos y para mí es un gran placer tenerlo hoy con nosotros. Así que, bueno, Martin, seguramente en otra ocasión hablaremos español, pero
Okay.
hoy haremos en inglés. Así que bueno, si gustan pueden ponerlo en captions. En la parte de abajo tienen la posibilidad de ponerle captions o CC para ver, ya sea que traduzca o pueden escuchar la sesión en inglés con subtítulos. Así que a partir de ahora vamos a hacer switch a inglés. Muchas gracias a todos. Gracias por entender. So, Tom, very welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. And me disculpe, yo puedo entender con fluencia, pero no puedo hablar mucho. Um, so thank you so much for having this in English. I appreciate it, and I hope everyone does too.
Tom, I admire you a lot. In some way, when I see you, it's like, oh, I love the things that you do because you also have your summit. You are all around legal AI. You have like amazing conversation with great people here in the States, and you are shaping a little bit this. You are also an articulist. You write a lot. For me, it's a great pleasure to have you here today. But for those who doesn't know you yet, I would like to let them know who you are, and if you can give us like a quick introduction about yourself, that will be great.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I wear a few different hats, right? I'm a lawyer. I'm licensed in California. I've been practicing law for over 25 years. I have my own law firm now. It does probate. I have three attorneys that work for me, and they do all the day to day. So that lets me focus on second thing, which is my legal technology company. It's called LawDroid. LawDroid, like R2D2, right, from Star Wars. Um, and I use AI to, you know, help people, ordinary people, understand the law, and also to help lawyers with tools that help them do their jobs better. I'm also an author. I wrote a textbook for access to justice. Excuse me, for for generative AI for law students. And I taught the same course at Suffolk Law School in Boston. I did it online because I wasn't flying to Boston every week, but that was a great experience. So, professor, lawyer, author, tech entrepreneur, a little too much, too much.
I feel you. Uh, for me, this conversation means a lot because we started today with two guys from Stanford, and for me, it's also amazing to have the chance to compare a little bit the ecosystems because at the end, we are neighbors in terms of geography, and I mean, this technology is something that we cannot miss, and I would like to push as much as I can in order to share this with the Mexican community and try to tell them how achievable it is, and I don't know, just maybe make it a little bit of FOMO or wherever, but this kind of conversation helps a lot to have different perspective because I don't see a lot of people talking the way you talk or having the conversation that you have with people from Stanford for colleagues. It's amazing the things that you can talk with them, and if you can share that with us today, it will be a win for me. So, what are we gonna talk today? We were planning this conversation last week, and we were just poking at different topics, and this was the topic that we at the end we select for the audience. Tell me more about what is this the 5 levels of AGI.
Yeah, so I thought it would be helpful for everyone. I had written an article about it for Thomson Reuters. They have the Thomson Reuters Institute, and I have a little column that I write for them called the AI Law Professor. And it was pretty popular. It's basically a roadmap. Like, where are we on the progress to AGI, artificial general intelligence? How far have we come? How far do we have to go? So it gives a bit of an overview to understanding where we're at in the evolution of AI. And I have a little slide deck I could show you a bit of an
Sure.
overview of that. Okay. So here you go. Can you see
All right.
that?
Yes, perfect.
All right. So there's 5 levels. And first off, I want to tell you, where did this come from? So I didn't make it up. It actually comes from a leaked memo from OpenAI. So OpenAI internally was talking about the different levels of AI progress, and this got leaked to the public. And it's become a very popular way of looking at how progress is going to happen with AI. And so the first level, the very bottom level, is chatbots. And chatbots are what I started doing almost 10 years ago, where it's if then logic, like if this happens, then you do this. It's very mechanical, right? And with ChatGPT, you added some more intelligence onto it so it could answer some basic questions and help you out. And so that's basically the bottom level, like a digital assistant. But after chatbots, you have reasoners, right? And so reasoners are when you see it, think step by step and it breaks down a problem and it plans what it's going to do. It says, I'll do this first, then that first, and then this. It's really weird, right? That you could see an AI almost thinking like us, where it says, okay, I got to do this. Uh, you know, I need to break it down into steps to make sense of it. So that's what reasoners are. And it was last year that we first started seeing reasoning models. And so that's the next step. It goes from just very simple questions and answers to more like it could think through a problem. And reasoners, I would say, is a place we've already been to. So chatbots, we've been there, done that. Reasoners, we're kind of there. But the next one is agents. That's level 3. And I think this is where we're at right now. We're still getting up to speed and we're learning about reasoning models, but there's a purpose for that reasoning. Like there's a purpose for that planning. What do you do with it? Well, you get it to do stuff for you, right? If it could plan how to solve a problem, then how great would it be to give it a problem to solve and it does it for you, right? That's the idea about agents, is that they can do the work for you. And you could monitor, you could check in on what they're doing, see if they're screwing up, if they're making a mistake, point them in the right direction, kind of like you would with an assistant who's learning, right? And so that's level 3, agents. We still need to get, really good at that, but that's kind of where the cutting edge is right now.
I want to I want to stop you in agents a little bit because something that we have seen in the last, I think, year and a half is like the amount of time that an agent can perform without guidance. And at the very beginning was maybe 20 minutes, then 1 hour, and right now we are about between 4 to 20 hours. Some agents, they can have agentic will, or they can perform tasks for a lot of time, and that's super impressive because at the end it's like, whoa, they're figuring out and they are working and they deliver, right? So what are your thoughts about the amount of time and how this impacts on the results?
So to me, it's a double-edged sword. Like it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing. Like the good thing is the longer it could work on a problem, obviously the better, right? Like we could just set it to work. And it just so happens that today, Anthropic dropped Claude Sonnet 4.5, and
Yeah.
4.5 could work for up to 30 hours,
Wow.
supposedly, on its own. So what's the bad side? The potential downside is that it's working for 30 hours unmonitored. Like, what is it doing? You know, is it going down the wrong path? And if it's going down the wrong path for 30 hours, oh my God, you know, like that could be a problem. Yeah. So that's what I think about it right now.
Oh, no, I mean, and at the end, it's like I know you code a lot, and for sure you are happy by coding and those. I mean, these apps like Replit, where you can request to the AI if I mean if you have like really good instructions and you really are looking for something specific or something complicated, the AI can just work and work and work and work and deliver hopefully something good because it's gonna be hard to after as you said after 30 hours who knows where it's gonna be, but it's
Yeah.
impressive the amount of time that can have like this will and try to look for different pathways and solutions in order to perform.
Yeah, there's so much promise right now with what agents could do. Um, I'm a big fan of Replit. I use Replit. It is, you know, for those of you that might not be familiar with Replit, it's basically an agent that can help you create computer programs, and you just tell it what you want, and then it'll create it. Like if you just told it something like create a stopwatch for me, like maybe if you need a bill for your time, and you need a stopwatch. That's all you need to tell it. Create a stopwatch program, and it will go through and it'll code that up so you could actually have a stopwatch. You push the button and it, you know, clocks your time for you. The one thing I would point out though, from my experience using Replit, so my experience working with an agent is that a lot of time, like right now, at least the current state of things, is that it doesn't take into consideration a lot of things that seem like common sense. Like, let's say you ask it to create a stopwatch for you. It might forget to, you know, include on the face of the watch like all the lines for the different minutes on the watch, right? And you would think to yourself, like, of course, if you're making a stopwatch, you would have that on there. Like, why doesn't it have that? And it's because it doesn't think about everything. It's not perfect. And so a lot of times you have to course correct. You have to say, hey, you forgot this. You got to do this. Hey, you got to do that. And you need to remind it. So my point is that the current state of agents right now definitely requires somebody who has an understanding, has experience, has expertise, because you still need a person, a human in the driver's seat, to basically be pointing this you know junior agent in the right direction. Because if you don't keep them on track, they could definitely go off track.
What are your thoughts about I don't know, we just met this technology I don't know, almost 3 years ago. It was November 2022. And it was very simple at the beginning, but very impressive. And we have so much more after 3 years. It's impressive and it's scary at the same time to think what is going to be the next 3 years.
It is, you know, I keep up to it. I keep up with it every single day, like the new news, the new scientific papers that come out where they're talking about new methods and new techniques. And for me, like it is overwhelming. Like there's way too much information coming out, too many new things, and what it means is could be scary. Um, but I think right now, like even if everything were to stop right now and
Yeah,
we had
I
no
know.
more improvement, it would still take at least 10 years to catch up with everything. There's that much of it.
Yeah.
So the best advice I have for everyone listening is to jump into it now. Experiment with it now. Get familiar with it.
Before jumping to the next, I mean, the next level, because we are here in this level. So I really want to take the time to explore a little bit more this current level that we are. Um, how do you how do you push to other lawyers in the States that they don't understand what this means? I mean, to just tell it like, well, if everything stopped right now, it will I mean, we will have 10 years without doing anything else but just understanding what we have already. That we haven't had the time because it's super fast, the way everything is evolving. How do you encourage other lawyers to take steps into the AI?
I mean, the very first step is just to get your hands dirty, right? You go on a ChatGPT, you play with it, you ask it different things, you go on to something like Replit and you ask it to make a program for you. And the most important thing is to keep an open mind. Don't be closed-minded. What I mean by that is don't say, hey, create a stopwatch for me to Replit, and then it forgets something or it doesn't do it perfect. And then you're like, what is this? This sucks.
Or
I don't know what Tom was talking about. This is a waste of my time. Look, it might screw up. It might not be perfect, but it's definitely not a waste of your time. Not at all. It's very valuable because the people that become familiar with it, it's just like anything, right? Like, remember if you all like learned to drive a stick shift car? You didn't learn it immediately. Like it took a while to not grind the gears, right? And like you're trying to shift the car from gear to gear. It takes you a while to get used to it. It's the same thing with AI. You have to learn how to get used to it and to work with it. But I could guarantee you that once you learn and get used to it, there's so much more you can do with it that you yourself alone can't do on your own. You could hire a bunch of people, throw a lot of bodies at the problem, but if you want to become more efficient on your own, this is a great way to do that.
and I think once you understand and once you start working with the APIs and you start understanding what is the difference between 5 or 4.5 from Sonnet or Opus 4, whatever is what you're doing, you start having the feeling about what the model can do or which model is the best to do something task. Like, I don't know, I was talking to a friend last week that I don't like Grok like a lot, but if I need to do something with taxes or with mathematics, that's the best. Like,
Yeah,
for sure. But I will not use Grok for anything else. Or if I want to correct my style in terms of I don't know, like if I'm reading an article, it's gonna be Claude by far because I like the way they express things. So you start understanding what every model can provide to you in terms of the service or the outcome that you're looking for.
absolutely. I totally agree with you. There's different AIs for different purposes, just like there's different cars for different things. Like one might be a race car, the other
I
one
love
is like, a good truck for moving things around. It's the same thing. Claude is great, yeah, for writing. Um, ChatGPT is pretty good with like creating images that you want. Um, but then, you have some that are even better than that, and they also have models now for making videos and but play with them, and then you'll figure out the strengths and weaknesses and which ones work best for you.
Sure thing. Well, I wanna let you continue because we what is number 4? What is level number 4?
Yeah, what do we have to look forward to, right? Um, I mean, agents, we're learning a lot right now, but the next one, level 4, is called innovators. And so you might think, okay, what the heck is that going to be? In some ways, we already have it, but it's very at the very, very cutting edge right now. So what do I mean by innovators? It is something that could come up with fresh new ideas, right? Like right now, we have agents, reasoners, chatbots. They're trained on data. They look to the past and they can only kind of think about things within what already exists. The way to think about innovators is let's pretend we went back to the year 1910. Okay. And 1910, we only know we only know everything that's going on in the world at that time, 1910. We don't know about today. We only know about then. So my question to you is, in 1910, would you be able to come up on your own, by yourself, just like from your imagination, could you come up with the theory of relativity like Einstein did, right? He came up with it. It didn't exist before. It was a new idea. Innovators, AI innovators, that's what they'll be able to do, is come up with new ideas, not just what we already know, but you ask them to figure out a problem and they might think of a way to do it that no one's ever thought of before. Now, I said that this is the cutting edge because there are some applications of that even now with like protein folding, drug discovery, like basically scientific applications. And it's going to be amazing when it becomes much more widely used. But that's the idea behind it, is that it's a type of AI that will be able to have new novel ideas.
And in certain way, this is already happening, right? Because I there are some studies. I think it was pretty much. I'm not sure it was Google. I'm pretty sure it's Google that the outcome of the investigation or the process that Google was doing, it was the same outcome or it was the same result that the scientists have, but I mean the model was not trained with that data. I mean it was I mean the outcome it was similar or I'm not sure if it was the same, but it was not with trained data. It was something that the model came up with, right?
Yeah, because, and this is what I teach my students at the law school, is that the LLMs, the large language models right now, the AI right now, it's really, really good when it has to solve a problem with something that it knows, right? But when it's something outside of its training data, when it's something new, it falls apart. Like it doesn't do a good job of predicting something that it's never experienced before. And yeah, that's the big difference, Ricardo, is that these innovative models will be able to deal with and figure out things that it's never encountered before, like we do. Like when we have a novel situation come up, we could figure out how to deal with it, and so will they. They.
And what is your thinking? Because I hear a lot people saying like, "Well, the AI just uh, throws or gives you answers like statistically. They don't create anything. It's just repeating things." And I don't want to discuss a lot with them because it's like I don't feel I'm not gonna do anything with that. But I don't agree with I mean if you put the agents or the AI in a way that you want to try or discover something new, I think I mean with the current technology that we have, I think you can achieve something. Or so many plastics, so many materials that has been discovered this year just because we have computing and we have an AI who was testing multiple things that will take years for the human to do it. So I don't know. It's something that I hear like a lot, but I try to don't discuss with them because I don't feel it's going anywhere.
I agree with you 100%, Ricardo. There's some people that the only lens that they look at stuff through is it perfect, right? Is this perfect? And if it's most everything practically is not perfect. So when they go like, is AI perfect? Like, is the answer that I get perfect? Is it the same every single time? Is it like, I agree with you. The way to look at it is practically, what can it do for us? What can it solve for us? How much more work can I get through with the help of AI? And that's really to me like the fundamental thing is that obviously there's so much more that you could do. Um, there's so much more work that you can get through, accomplish, think about, write about that isn't possible to do as much without AI. So that's what we should focus on is the reality of that.
So what's number four? When do you think we're gonna be on number four, or are we almost in number four?
So my thinking of number four is that the current approach we have with large language models and GPT is a generative pre-trained transformer. Not to get too technical about it, but with that approach, you're basically predicting the next word based upon the training. And so that approach, I don't know that it works for innovators, right? Because you're predicting something, but based on the past. With innovators, you have to be thinking about something in the future with no experience that you've ever had before. So it's going to require somewhat of a different approach. I think once there's a model that handles that really well, then this level will be unlocked and it will go forward crazy fast. Um, if it's 2 to 5 years, I don't know, but I do think that it requires uh, an innovative new approach for AI.
Thank you. Uh, so what's level 4? Well, I'm sorry, what is level 5?
Yeah, so there's only 5 levels, okay? So don't worry. Um, but level number 5 is what they, and again, it's OpenAI from their memo, right? They called it organizations. And so the idea of an organization, you could call it an organization, you could call it an entity or like a being because it's basically able to have autonomy. Like it's beyond an agent because that was level 3, right? It's beyond an innovator, but it uses all of that together, right? So it has the ability to work like an agent, but millions of them at the same time. It's able to come up with new ideas and spread that across all of its, AI workforce. And so when you combine all of that together, then you get the ability to essentially run a large organization at scale using AI. Um, and so that's going to be crazy. We're not anywhere near this right now. There's still so many kinks to work out of agents. Like I told you, like it could screw up creating a stopwatch. Um, but once it gets to this level, it'll be, um, extremely formidable. Like it'll be extremely strong in what it could accomplish. And then we'll have to be thinking of it working for us and, it getting like a universal income and being able to hang out at the beach and have the AI doing the work for us. But this will be, down the road sometime in the future.
Tom, this, I mean, if we just read that as some people like, we don't have any expertise or we don't have a practice, it will sound like great, but sure, right? But you are in the practice, you have conversation with people from Stanford all the time, you are writing articles and reading papers. So you think this is something that really we can achieve it in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years?
I don't think organizations of 3 to 5 years. It's probably farther out than that, at least 10 years or more, I would think. Which, by the way, is a crazy statement because, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, to think that we would be at the level of just agents would be sci-fi. Um, but I think this is farther off. But it brings up real questions, and the real questions are, what does this mean for us? Um, I I think that there's deeper questions there if we let this happen, right? Because we need to keep that in mind. Um, we can, take control of the conversation. We don't have to let these things just happen to us and let, the billionaires that control this stuff just do whatever they want. Like we should be able to contribute to the conversation, and give our input about what we want to happen. But that's what I'm saying is that when these things start, as this evolves, and as we become less and less powerful in terms of a labor force, we need to give our input because the world with AI being able to do this, organizations, it'd be a different world than we have grown up in. And so my belief is if we can set it up so that it benefits everyone, fantastic. But if it goes down the road of just benefiting like five guys, that's not good. So
Who
yeah.
know, we know who those five guys are. The scary thing.
Yeah.
Isaac Lopez puts a really good question in the. I mean, if someone of you have any question, please do it. And he's asking if AI progress is happening in different stages across industries. Like, for example, it's more advanced in software development, but it's still undeveloped on the legal world. And I just want to say, Cloud Code or Cursor, it's a lot for engineers, and every single time they have the chance to show what it can do for lawyers, because you can use it for lawyers too. Uh, I mean, all of them they get very excited, but it feels like it's not a tool for lawyers. But what is your answer to that?
So there's a famous quote that you all may have heard of from an author named William Gibson, who talks about sci-fi, right? And AI. And William Gibson, the quote is, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. So that you're right. The person that asked that question is right that there's a lot of these things that are functioning that are available, but it's like different firms are working at different speeds. Different people have different access to different, levels of the technology. And so not everyone is on the same page. Um, to me, though, I think that creates a big opportunity because if you're somebody who keeps up on all of this stuff, and there's a lot of people that aren't keeping up on it, that difference in knowledge is, arbitrage, right? Where like you sell something for a higher level when you buy it at a lower level. That difference, that arbitrage, um, the ability to make money or to gain influence by knowing more, um, you could definitely help other lawyers and law firms do better.
I try often to ask to some experts about if they think or we might be starting learning to code. Uh, and I really wishing to today to say, yes, of course, you should. And they say, no, no, I don't think so. But at the end, it's like, imagine that you have the experience that you have as a lawyer, and then you can code or you can do vibe coding. If you can put those things together, it's like you multiply yourself by 5 or 10, whatever. And I don't know, people just say like, no, I don't think so. And it's like, please say yes, and please tell people why. I think you are the one who's gonna say yes because I know you code. Uh, why is important to code if you're a lawyer?
So I think the reason why it's important is because you want to be in control. All of us want to be in control of our destiny, right? And the way to be in control of your destiny is to learn how to use software to code. Now, here's the thing that makes it easier, an easier pill to swallow. You don't have to code the way you used to, right? Like Ricardo and I were talking about, you have Replit, you have machines now, you have AI that can help you code without you having to like learn how to do it. You don't have to learn Python, which is a computer programming language. You don't have to. You could. It'll help if you do, but you don't have to learn that code. You could simply talk to a computer and tell it what you want, and it will code for you. So at least the process of learning how to speak and get a computer program from an AI agent, you, you should learn that because that's easy to do, you know? And that will be a way that you can help to take control of your destiny because otherwise, if you don't, then someone else is going to do it for you.
Oh, love it. I'm gonna take that question a little bit after whoever put the question. But here is. what do you think GPT-5 um, in this moment on at 4.5 Opus 4 is really giving us the capacity of make automation in the legal. I mean, are they really performing as good with us, a junior attorney, or it just boosts our capabilities as lawyers?
So GPT-5 in particular, I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed by it. Um, it wasn't as good as what they were trying to project it to be. Um, and there were a lot of reasons for that. Like, they have investors, they want to, make a good impression and all that stuff. Um, but regardless, it's actually a very good model. Um, One of the things that I point out to people in how it's different is that, again, going back to like the car example, GPT-5 is like driving a car that has an automatic transmission. Like, like it chooses for you what gear you're going to be in, right? GPT-5, it chooses for you if you're going to use a reasoning model or a non-reasoning model, if it's going to think a lot or not. It used to be, you go to ChatGPT and you could choose which model. Like I want this one, O3 or O4, or like, you would get more of the control, kind of like with the stick shift. You could choose what gear to use. And they took that away. And there's pluses and minuses to that, but it's a very good coding model. It can help people to write computer programs, and so can 4.5 with Claude. And some of it you could actually see what it'll look like, within Claude. So that's pretty cool.
Um, we're ready to have this agentic. I mean, you tell us the Tenet 4.5 can work for 20 hours.
Well, they said 30 hours, but I don't know. I
Oh,
haven't
there.
tested it.
Let's try it. Uh, so are we ready as a society to I don't know. I always compare this to the autonomous cars that we have in San Francisco. And I just feel this is just matter of time and money of someone putting into a problem in order to solve it because the technology is already here. Um, so I don't want to be like over optimistic about it, but it feels like the technology is more available every day.
Yeah, are we ready for it? Again, everyone's coming from a different place. Some people are more open to it. Some people are just to reject it immediately. I'm obviously like a tech guy, right? I love tech. But when I've been to San Francisco and I see those self-driving cars, I've been like a little, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into the car. But to be honest with you, it's a lot safer. People make mistakes. People have bad judgment. And
EUIs.
yeah, and there's problems. There's problems that happen. And, we just look at the statistics and we can see how many people get into accidents that maybe didn't have to happen. And so, self-driving cars, again, they may not be perfect, but if we compare them statistically to the safety of us driving the cars, if they do better, then maybe, should we think about it at least? That maybe they should be driving, you know?
I'm
So
gonna jump.
I don't think we're entirely ready yet, but we're close.
I'm gonna combine the question that it was made on the Q&A with this Yale. I mean, you went to Yale and I'm pretty sure they teach you philosophy of law. How do you see the ethics on level 5? And they ask you also because level 4 and level 5 are pretty much governed AI. Does it that present responsibility and regulatory problems? What is your take on that?
Well, this is a pretty deep question. So one thing, just to be clear, I got a bachelor's degree in philosophy at Yale, undergrad. It wasn't philosophy of law. I studied, I went to law school later at UCLA. But the main thing at Yale that, I studied in with my degree was I focused on what they call continental philosophy. What is that? That's more about why are we here, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so those are the kinds of questions I was thinking about when I was at Yale, and so like those questions, they definitely come up. It's interesting that a lot of like these liberal arts, like a lot of the, you know, English degree or taking and studying poetry and philosophy and culture, a lot of those same things come up when we think about AI, because how's that going to change our culture? How's that going to change how we value intelligence? How's it going to change what we think about? Is it going to take some of that away so that we're, not using our minds as much as we used to? Like, so there's a lot of like philosophical questions that are buried in AI and where we're going. And there's no better author than Professor Richard Susskind to talk about this. And if you haven't read How to Think About AI by Professor Susskind, I would highly recommend it because it goes into all of this in a lot of depth.
I want to take this. This is, I think, this is gonna be the last question. But what real automation case convinced you that the future has arrived?
Hmm. When you say real automation case, what do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, uh, like I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm gonna express what I see. Like Manus, you know this the AI. I think it's from Asian, but I'm not sure if it's Chinese or it's from or Singapore. But I don't know, like watching how they evolve and do things and the presentations is like wow. Or Cloud Code or Cursor that you can just, I mean, that you really see how they plan and execute and they deliver and they do things and auto evaluations and they come back and fix that and try to understand it. It's amazing. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It's my case, but what about yours?
For me, it's been Replit, to be honest. Like, um, so my company, LawDroid, we've been around for close to 10 years. I've worked with a lot of computer programmers, and unfortunately, it's hard to rely on them. A lot of them have been contractors, and to try to get them, you know, they're not available. They, sometimes it feels like they fell off the earth. Like, where are they? What's going on? Like, I need your help right now, and they're not there. Um, and so it's been very unreliable, like using people for computer programming. And when I'm running a company that needs that help, um, you can't have that. And so it's been a huge freedom for me that with something like Replit, I could take direct control of it, you know, and I could ask for what I want, or I can add something that a customer has asked for, and like that, the next day I'm like, hey, check it out. Um, so that for me has been a huge unlock, has been Replit and being able to use an AI agent to help me program.
Tom, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you so much for I don't know, showing us a little bit how you're watching uh, I mean, at the end, you are in the edge of the technology in the United States and in Canada. You are pushing, you are sharing, you have your own. Please share us a little bit the event that you made this year, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna make it again next year. You are very active on social media. Please just share with us a little bit before we finish this conversation. to I mean, there's 200 people here, so I would love to everybody of those 200 follow you on LinkedIn, and it's amazing the things that you're sharing every day. So thank you so much for being here, and please, if you want to share something, that will be great.
Yeah, two things real quick while I have you in the room. The first one is I have this Substack called LawDroid Manifesto. So please, check it out. It's at lawdroidmanifesto.com. And if you can drop that link in there, I'd really appreciate it. Let's see. And the other thing is that, I'm here on LinkedIn, um, Tom Martin, and I've written the book about generative AI, and you're welcome to have it. It's actually free for everyone. Um, I don't see the chat here.
Well, it's more like a webinar, so it's gonna be
Okay.
just a Q&A. But this is your law drive manifesto, right?
Yeah, so this is the LawDroid Manifesto, and it has interviews with a bunch of really smart people. Ed Walters, who was at VLEX before it got purchased by Clio, and a whole bunch of other people, and some articles that are talking about the future of AI. Um, and I share some of the things that I built, like Law Answers AI, is a really cool, um, the future of being able to ask questions, legal questions of a AI and get answers that are reliable. Also, this is the book that I wrote. It's online um, and free. I taught my students with it, and it also has like exercises in it where you can play around with AI. And it even has a generative AI tutor that can tutor you on this subject. So, yeah, I'd be really happy for you to check me out at lawdroidmanifesto.com.
Here's a one last question. I'm not sure if you want to take it. It's in the Q&A if you want to check it out before we left.
Yes.
Leonardo says, as AI agents become capable of operating autonomously for days, how you define legal and ethical accountability?
Yeah, it's a great question because in a way we've already established these rules, right? Like there's a big body of law about agency and who's responsible. And I think what it can't be is, well, it's AI, it's software, so nobody's responsible, right? Like that doesn't work for anyone. Like somebody has to be responsible.
Yeah.
And so I think if we use the current laws we have for who's responsible for what an agent does, they carry over pretty well. And then it forces the person that's providing the service of an agent, it forces them to be a bit more responsible with what they're doing.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ricardo.
See you again soon.
All
Thanks.
right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.